So I'm here today with my buddy, Colt Capperrune.
What up?
We're going to be talking about, is it the right time to leave the music industry? Because we both think... What's up, everybody? I'm the Derek Frank. The music industry is in a crazy time right now. There's tours still getting canceled, some still out on the road, and people are losing their jobs. Some people are doing better than they've ever done on social media and streaming. So, is it the right time to leave the music industry or to stay in it? Now, since that's such a hard question to answer, I decided to ask an expert. I went over to my buddy Colt Capperrune's house, and I gotta say, Colt is such a great guy on a lot of levels, but he made me a pour-over coffee right when I got there. So hospitality and building relationships are a lot in my book, and that was a good one. So thank you, Colt, so much. Everybody, make sure to click in the link below to go follow his page as well. And let's go hear what Colt has to say.
The likelihood of you being successful at it, if you are not all in, is pretty low. It shouldn't matter whether it's like ramen noodles or surf and turf. Like, for me personally, like, I could care less if it's ramen noodles and hot dogs or steak and shrimp every night. I'm gonna do this no matter what. And I feel like any attitude less than that it drastically lowers the chances of your success. So at the beginning of coronavirus, I also did a handful of videos on my channel talking about like the future of the music industry. As terrible as what's happening is, there's so many people that are throwing in the towel that post-corona, the number of gigs, the number of opportunities, the number of available time slots for shows and all that, that's gonna continue to be about the same as it was pre-corona eventually, except there are 30%, 40%, 50% less artists and musicians available to take those slots. And we already kind of saw this as things fired back up over this summer of 2021. Like, all of my clients, all of my session players, all of the people that I know that are on the road, like, they are busier than they've ever been before because there's more work than there are musicians, because so many musicians threw in the towel. So is it a good time to throw in the towel on music? If you're considering throwing in the towel, then you should probably just do it. Because even the fact that you're considering it means that the chances of you actually making it are far lower. However, if you are in this for the long haul, if you're in it to win it, this is your life, and it doesn't matter if it's ramen noodles or surf and turf, then you already know you're not going to throw in the towel. And if you can do whatever it takes to survive through this, and not, whatever that means to those of you that live in Nashville, not move back home, not give up on your music career, even if it means taking a day job that you don't love for a period of time, but keeping yourself in a position so that way when the time comes, you can instantly make the transition back to a full-time music career, even if you have to get a day job. That is really important, I think, for the long-term success of your career, because the music industry isn't going over. And just like the Spanish flu back in the late, 19 teens, right? 1918, 1919, whenever the Spanish flu was, immediately after that, we had the Roaring 20s. And that is gonna happen again. That's absolutely gonna happen again. The music industry and the entertainment industry over the next 5 years is going to be out of control. And we're gonna see that. That's what's gonna happen. So if you can hang on, and if you can get through this rough patch, you'll be able to take advantage of what's coming. Gear matters. It absolutely matters. But what you do with the gear matters more, because you could give me a session to mix with all stock plugins, and I'm gonna mix circles around the guy who's brand new at it, that has everything he could ever want at his disposal. So it is more important what you do with it than the gear that you have. Gear absolutely matters. And in terms of upgrading studio stuff, I think that situation is different for everyone. So if you are in a place and your business is going well, throughout this pandemic, it's very interesting that some people seem to be having like the best years of their entire career, and some people are like throwing in the towel and moving back home, back in with their parents. And I feel like you have to judge where you are on that scale. But if you are in a position where you're doing okay, you should never stop investing in your gear and in your setup and in your business. One of my favorite things, for those of you that follow him, Gary Vaynerchuk, was real famous for like, his company was worth like $50 million before he took more than $40,000 a year as a paycheck, because he was so adamant about constantly reinvesting back into his company that was more important to him than taking a big paycheck. And I've done the same thing. 18 years now, I have poured, until like the past year or two, I have poured every spare dime I've ever had back into music gear. So if you're in a position to spend money, yes, 100% invest in upgrading. That was a long answer to that small question.
That was a great answer to that.
When I first moved to Nashville, and I think this would apply for anyone in any city and no matter, like any field, even if you're a plumber or an electrician or whatever. When I first moved to Nashville, I realized that the goal needed to be, there can't be a single person in this town that doesn't know who I am. Every person has to know who I am. And it's not an ego thing, it's if 100,000 people in the music industry know who I am, the percentage of those, because it's always going to be a small percentage, the percentage of those people that are willing to hire me is a big enough quantity of people to actually keep me busy. So in terms of marketing, I cannot overstress like building personal relationships, like real relationships with the maximum number of people that you possibly can, because that's just how you get business. And social media is an ever-changing, ever-evolving part of that. I'm only sitting here because of Facebook and Instagram. And while I have now abandoned Facebook completely because it has just went down the toilet, Instagram is still a massive part of what I do. YouTube is still a massive part of what I do. For a lot of artists currently, TikTok is a massive part of what they do. And so my advice is get to know as many people as you possibly can in whatever field that you are. If you're a producer or a mixer, you need to know managers and labels and artists. If you're an artist, then you need to know promoters, bookers, and venues. You know, whatever your situation is, figure out the people that you need to know to be successful, and then know as many of them as possible. Make sure as many of them as possible know you and who you are. And then on social media, just create as high quality, informative or entertaining content as humanly possible. Be super consistent, be engaging, figure out what triggers the people that follow you, and then double down on that and keep doing that. Constantly keep reevaluating what you do. Just all in. Social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok are kind of the things right now.
So what do you guys think? Do you think it's time to double down? Or do you think it's time to just cut your losses and get out of the music industry? If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon as well so you get notified when I do more videos like these. And also leave your opinion in the comment section so I know what you think. Do you think it's time to stay or is it time to go? Thank you guys so much and have a good one. We'll see you next time.